What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Let's get right into it, guys. Here to bring you a trade proposal video I've been thinking about for a while now. It's for Terry McLaurin of the Commanders being traded to the Dolphins. What I believe is an even swap for Tyreek Hill going back to the Commanders. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it, guys. So, earlier today, if you're watching this Tuesday, August 12th, I am releasing it kind of late, but I did a Tyreek Hill to the Raiders stream earlier. Thought it was pretty fun, but I don't think that trade is realistic. Tyreek Hill's a player so far from what we know of his personality-wise. He wants to win. You know, he want to be in a winning situation. Hasn't been that way since leaving the Chiefs. The Dolphins haven't really came before him like as we all thought. Him, Waddle, Tua, and stuff like that. But I've been under the thinking personally ever since the offseason started, especially since Tyreek Hill's comments to end the season last season, that I think he will be moved on from eventually by this Dolphins franchise. Mike McDaniels has kind of taken some shots at Tyreek Hill too as well. So I just think it's going to come to a boil at some point. Maybe not now since Hill is hurt during the preseason or whatever. So maybe by the trade deadline. But hopefully he get healthy quickly. It could happen prior to the season, but you never know. We'll see how things work out. But so on the Tyreek Hill side, I'm all for him having a change of scenery. It makes sense there. Now flipping over to the Commanders, Terry McLaurin, their star wide receiver for the last few years, he wants a new contract. For some odd reason, the Commanders and Adam Peters, their new GM or team president or whatever he is, he wants he doesn't feel the need to pay him for some reason. Not quite sure. He's due to make $15 million and change this year, which is definitely an undervalue for a guy like Terry McLaurin, pushing 30 years old, about to be 30. I want to say in September. So and the 30-year-old mark has kind of been, as of legend, that's kind of when most receivers kind of get on their decline. But I think Terry should be fine. So with this swap being the case, Tyreek Hill, his contract is over after the 2026-2027 season. For that season, he's due around, I think, $29 million. So how this will work, in my opinion, flip Tyreek Hill straight up for Terry McLaurin, right? The Dolphins obviously need a new wide receiver one to pair with Waddle. Terry McLaurin goes there. They pay Terry long term. He's never been an off the field guy, a guy with off the field problems, so that should be fine. An even better situation for Tua if he can stay healthy, and Mike McDaniel and those guys. I think he would thrive in that system. And then you flip it to Tyreek Hill. Now I know Adam Peters don't want to pay Terry McLaurin, which is fine. There is a contract out in Tyreek Hill's contract after this season. This year he makes around, I think, want to say 10 to 15 million, but next year, like I said earlier, it balloons to 29 million. There is a contract out after this season. Tyreek Hill can be cut with a dead cap of 15 million. That's literally what Terry McLaurin is making this year, so that's an easy cut. So it'll be like a 1-year rental for Tyreek Hill going to Commanders, but it could be worth it. It could be worth it. So if I'm both sides, I'm doing that move with no problem. The Dolphins should have no problem with Terry McLaurin and his off-the-field antics like Tyreek Hill does. And he's not a bad guy. Well, he has done some bad things off the field in the past, but he just had a tumultuous offseason, in his personal life and his love life, a bunch of kids, a bunch of stuff going on. So, I just think all that plus not having the best comments about the team, about your future with the team, I think that's kind of just bruising his standing with the franchise and with the fans. So a new star should be had, and you have other teams that could use them. I did it earlier the stream. I said the Raiders, the Seahawks, the Niners. But if you're not in a guaranteed spot to have a good season, you don't want to bring Tyreek Hill to your locker room and to your situation. And especially on like a 1-year rental, I think he would fit best with that Cliff Kingsbury, Jaden Daniels style there in Washington. He'll be great there. Then you can go, like I said, flip back to Terry. I said before, I'm not a big fan of Mike McDaniel. I love Tua, but can't stay healthy. But I just think there is a need to have a change in Miami. I don't think that will happen. So I think they'll stay stand packed there. keep Waddle, keep those guys. I said a while ago that they should blow it up, but they probably won't do it. So I think this is a fair trade. In theory, though, going off the guys on paper and their numbers and stuff like that, you would think the Commanders would have to attach a pick to Terry McLaurin, but not this case. He is younger, only by a few months. And also, like I said, he's not, and you're going to pay him long term as well if you're the Dolphins. So, yeah, I think this is a straight up player swap. If the money can work that way, I'm not quite sure. I didn't do a trade simulate, nothing like that, but it should work. Both teams have the cap space. The Commanders have the cap space to absorb Tyreek. And as I said, Terry McLaurin is only making like $15.5 million. So that shouldn't be too hard to absorb if you're giving away what Tyreek Hill has on his contract there. And I think that's a fair trade. It should work for both parties. Tyreek Hill could blossom again, and he, like I said, we all know he's still a game changer, one of the best in the league. But the injuries, plus, like I said, the bad play, and like I said, the bad play you can chalk up the two not being there, the concussions, the injuries from him as well. So it's tough to kind of just blame it all on him. We know what he can do when he's given the right situation. And obviously, Jaden Daniels had a heck of a year last year as a rookie. He will have another year that's good this year. Second year, better offensive line, better defense. Tyreek Hill, kind of swapping him out for McLaurin, it could be an upgrade. It might not be. We'll see. I think Terry is more healthier on a year-by-year average, but you never know. When winning gets involved, I do trust Tyreek Hill as long as you're in a good situation. As long as he's in a good situation, it should work out for both parties. But in reality, though, the end of the video, I don't think this will happen. I just think the timing isn't quite right. Like I said, Tyreek Hill is hurt. And doing this at the trade deadline means Terry has played on his current contract, which I don't think he will do. He hasn't really shown the want to play right now. He's shown up to camp. He is being a pretty good soldier there, showing up to camp. We saw him today speaking with Adam Peters. It looked pretty positive. We don't know exactly what was said, but it looked pretty positive. So he is at camp. But, I just don't think, if the contract doesn't come, I don't see Terry playing. I really think he might stand on business. So with that being the case, if that does happen, that means we're in week 4, week 5 maybe, and McLaurin hasn't played at all, and then Hill is playing. I don't think the Dolphins would want that long term. Even if obviously McLaurin would be staying in shape and stuff like that, you just don't want to risk the injury, because one Achilles injury or something from him overcompensating for not playing all those weeks, and then you bring him in and he's in the hot Miami sun and trying to make plays. That could be a wasted year or year and a half, which could be lead about 2 seasons. So I don't think the Dolphins would do that. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes, man. But I do love this trade. I might try it on Madden as well, so the stream could be coming soon. But I do think it is a very viable option for both teams. And it could be, like I said, the Commanders trying to be cheap now, the way this looking. They don't want to pay McLaurin. They dang sure is not going to pay Hill long term for that $29 million for 2026 season. They will cut him for that dead cap in 15.5. And then McLaurin gets what he wants, long-term deal in Miami, playing a very good system. But like I said, Tua can't stay healthy. As far as long term, that's kind of up in the air. The Dolphins team as a whole, not the greatest situation either. So, Terry would get the money, but not go back to a winning situation. So, it's kind of give and take there. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with both guys. But if I were to guess, though, I think Tyreek Hill is moved on from eventually. Like I said before, I had the Packers being a good option. I had the Commanders as well, a video I did in the spring. The Commanders adding him with McLaurin instead of swapping him out with McLaurin. So I think if they can somehow add Hill and keep McLaurin, that could be crazy too. That could be crazy too, man. So we'll see. We'll see. The 49ers are also a valuable option as well. So, but that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow me on all my social media platforms. I'm up there on everything. TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, X, everything you're on, I'm on as well. Reddit, same name, at Stats Free Sports. Do go live on Twitch and YouTube as well. Went live earlier today, as I mentioned. We'll go live soon again. So just stay tuned. Like, subscribe, guys. I will see you guys next time.